Welcome to the John Doe Radio Show today, January 5th. It is a Thursday. Thank you very much for hanging out with us live on the John Doe Radio Show. If it is where you're hanging out with us live, that's johndoeradio.com/live. Or you can check us out now on the Normal Network at live.normal.com. Or wait, is that right? live.normal.org. God, stupidity of brain farts is just redonkulous with me. It's been a fantastically interesting morning. I don't know should I tell the people? I don't know. We were slightly rear-ended on the way here. I've been slightly emotional this morning about just the little one, so we get all past that. It is a Business Thursday, so we will have Chloe Villano with us here eventually here in a minute. I need to shut off these speakers in the studio here that I keep forgetting to shut off. Also have some news if we get a chance to get to, and yeah, just good times trying to get shiz together. Also, I want to make sure that you guys, if you didn't know, we're trying to get a lot of video stuff together. So basically on YouTube, you can go to youtube.com/John Doe Radio. I'm pretty sure that's how the YouTube thing goes now. Anyway, you can just go to YouTube and search for John Doe Radio. I haven't used YouTube a lot. I have a laptop at home that I carry around with me most of the place, and then I have the studio computer, and I don't like to run, a lot of redonkulousness on the studio computer because things can crash and just be crappy. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there that understand that. Anyway, so the laptop I have is not the most insanely best for video, so really I don't ever watch video on anything, but it's becoming more and more evident and clear to me that people want to watch video, so that's why we make sure that we try and get this video action going. So Phil is here, thrown into the fire of video action. He just came in to just say, hey, I just put a camera in my hand and film Glass Tuesday and try and get some up-close shots of these awesome pictures of this glass. And then we were like, so you're coming in tomorrow, right? And he's like, all right. I was like, and then it became, so you coming in tomorrow, right? And he's like, yeah, right, that's right. And so be like, oh, you're gonna get that video up, right? Yeah, I guess I'm gonna get that video up. And so he's been a fantastic person in trying to help us out on the video side of things. So you can go to YouTube and check out a lot of the stuff that we're trying to basically get uploaded in as high quality as we know how. You'd think, I've been through broadcasting school myself, and you'd think that I'd sit down and I suck at video, you're like, dude, you're awesome at audio and you can sit and ramble and, create just video. No, it doesn't happen like that, all right? I guess you have to care. And that has to be a big part of anything positive that you do in life, and caring of video is very lack. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, so I feel weird sitting here having a camera on me half the time as it is. But anyway, that also leads me to some other stuff. We have other plans that we're trying to get into, and I have inside my head that I've talked to with other people, some theater of the mind type stuff, the 2-hour John Doe Radio that we've talked about moving on to. I'm thinking of, stuff behind the scenes of what to do and plan, and man, there's some old-time radio type stuff that I want to get into. I listen just randomly sometimes. I have a website that I go to, and it's saved on my laptop at home. I can't think off the top of my head right now what exactly website it is, but it's a website that just has just a list of old school, just radio. When radio came out, and there was just plays, and you had all this Foley stuff going on in the background, some guy with his shoes just clomping on the table, and just awesome stuff like that, man. And we really, really, really like to put together some, even specialty programming like that. And I know we've said this stuff for a long, long time, but we're getting to the point to where we are able to possibly do that, with awesome sponsors, like a Cut Above, who we like to hook up online and has signed up basically for an online package and promotion. And we have created a Facebook page for Cut Above, which is located at 1911 South Broadway. Make sure you go and check them out. Holler at them. Tell them the John Doe Radio Show sent you. They've got awesome specials. And if you go to the John Doe Radio Show Facebook page, that's where you can either find this a cut above Denver. It's not a cut above Colorado Springs, or you can go to my Tim Martin page and find the cut above one. And there's no real pictures up yet. There's no real specials up yet or whatever. Just be the first people on there, and you never know. We could be recording those names. If you're from Denver, there could be some sort of awesome specialness to it. So anybody, people like CPM, Cherry Company, Pearl Company, Teapot, Platte Valley, Rare Dankness, all these people are allowing us to be able to do the things that we want to do here in the future, and without getting into some things that I get in every day. I sometimes feel like we do get into the whole PBS type thing, of like the lately here, but there's a future in all of it, and there's a design, and there's a blueprint, and sometimes the blueprint may not go exactly as we want it, but we're getting there. So, and I'm excited about a lot of stuff that we're going to be having, so it's going to be cool. So, and as I mentioned, today's Business Thursday. I'm expecting Chloe to be here. She has some serious business to take care of before Business Thursdays, which, I don't know if she'll ever want to talk about, but I know that she, sometimes gets stuck in traffic on the way here from that. But you can check her out at yourmmjinfo.com. She does all sorts of awesome stuff for the medical marijuana community here in Colorado, and very soon here in the future she's going to have some huge announcements. And like yesterday we sat down and talked in continuing with the whole the future of John Doe Radio and everything. I need a pen. In talking with the future of of John Doe Radio and everything's I don't know, there's just maybe some huge announcements that she has, so maybe big things that maybe we could sit down and talk with her about, and maybe going to be doing and bringing to you that we've wanted to bring to you for a long ass time, like getting outside of the studio and maybe traveling around. There's a few places that we'd like to go, and I know there's some situations that anyway, I always say too much. I get into rambling and things, and then it's like, you're gonna ramble on too much at least someday and say too much. Hope everybody out there is having a fantastic day. All right, I did say cut above medical marijuana. What?
It's not a cut above Denver, though. It's under a cut above medical marijuana center.
But I'm just saying that there's a difference.
I just want to, if they search Denver, then it, yeah.
Search a cut above medical marijuana center.
There you go.
And you're going to get a cut above from Denver and Colorado Springs. It's the Denver one. All right, specifically Denver. I just realized that I had this. I didn't know that we had kept this necessarily.
I didn't see the inside of it.
Just don't, I'm cutting your mic off. Anyway, that's pretty sweet right there, huh? One of the first ever that anybody has. I can't tell anybody right now for certain reasons, but so sorry, I apologize for that. Anyway, there's a few other things that I had there to say, but anyway, we'll move on to craziness here. Hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Tomorrow, as always on the John Doe Radio Show, on Fridays, we have Steve Elliott, and we're going to try and get William Breeds in. I haven't talked with him here in a week or so hopefully we'll get him in. And there's a few news stories that I would like to talk about with William tomorrow. And there's some news stories that obviously I would like to go over with Steve Elliott in news tomorrow. One of the biggest news stories today, though, coming across here in Colorado is, let me pull up this real quick. Sorry, it seems like I'm completely flustered and unprepared today, but it's been a completely flustered and sort of unprepared day. Warren Edson and the people at Edson, Maton, and Matz here are joining up with this situation that's going on in Colorado with the Colorado Department of Health not issuing licenses, and there being like 4,200. I don't know, I think it's 4,000, but I think they came up with the number 4,200. I think they actually said 4,200. Just trying to kick us in the cojones. You know, that's what it was. Just to be a bunch of smartasses, probably. I'll make no doubt about it. I have no qualms with, like, talking smack about the Colorado Department of Health and Environment. Because they're absolutely anti-patient, anti-marijuana, anti-science when looking into this, even though they have a few people on their board that, are a little more educated than other people. Colorado Department of Health has consistently tried to take patients' rights away. They've tried to take caregivers' rights away. Just totally. And since lately we've had a lot of pissing on the Constitution, I think that they've tried to piss on the Constitution Amendment 20 that we have here in Colorado, which is, one of the, we have the most solid medical marijuana, system when it comes down to it, in being able to rip it away, because Colorado's Constitution, it's built in Amendment 20, even if it came with, down to taking away, our regulated system, we would still fall back into Amendment 20. But the Colorado Department of Health has always tried to take away those patients' rights. Always tried to say that you as a caregiver have had to do something more than just grow marijuana for patients. Whether it be go and drive them to the store to get food, bathe them, whatever it is. They sat down in a meeting in July of 2009 and tried to explain to this is what a caregiver is. This is what we consider a caregiver is. A caregiver in the state of Colorado does this and this and this and this and this. Our explanation, and where thousands of people showed up, was that, well, just because that legal definition of caregiver is this doesn't mean that it can't change. It doesn't mean that we can't add growing marijuana into that certain part of caregivership. It makes sense. It makes sense because the people of Colorado voted on it in that way. Anyway, they just have been an absolute pain in the ass. And before we get into some commercials here and some stuff, I want to make sure that we read this, because there is an answer. And I've not called and harassed the CDPHE or the Department of Health for one simple reason, because I don't want to get sued for harassment or create any sort of issue or problems with people that we're probably going to be needing to work with in the long run. Here on the John Doe Radio Show, we'd like to become a pillar here, especially in Colorado, in the community, of becoming a voice, and I think we have, of becoming a voice to get out more and more information. And I would like to have not only the patients trust us more, but also be involved more and more, just as like regular radio stations are, local news media out there. We are local news media. Chloe's here. Awesome. But sitting down and becoming friends with the, what the hell is it called? Media specialist, the media person. I've actually went to school and trained to be a certain kind of this person, and I can never remember the damn name. Anyway, basically the publicist, and you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, for the Department of Revenue that runs the medical marijuana regulation system here in Colorado, I haven't wanted to piss her off. The other people in the position, I would have been okay with calling every day and being like, hey, is there a solution to this problem? Hey, is there a solution to this problem? Hey, is there a solution to this problem? There's 4,000 patients. They're sitting here. I went inside of a dispensary myself the other day with a patient that was refused, that absolutely needs it. And, you can define whatever you want of absolutely needs marijuana in whatever way you want, but the state of Colorado has already defined this. It's already given, and then we get in the regulatory system. And I believe in the regulatory system. But when you go in and you see somebody that needs it, you hear a story from, like, my friend up in Craig, of where the patients, like, literally they're sick, visibly visibly sick from the situation they're having to go through, whether it's, AIDS or cancer or whatever, but they can't sell the medicine because the CDPHE or the Department of Revenue can't get their shiz straight. It just drives you mad. It's one thing to have it as a situation of us being punished and a situation of us, being treated the way that we are as criminals, but it's a whole other thing as medical marijuana patient to see that side of things. So it's crazy. I think I got your mic on there, Chloe. Is it?
Hello.
Chloe Villano.
Hello.
Your MMJ
I
info.
can't hear myself.
Info.com. You can't hear yourself?
No.
What the fuck? Why not?
You got to turn up my headphones.
My headphones are on, so that should mean yours are on too. switch with her. And anyway, let me get to read this, and then I'm going to go to a commercial, and then we're going to come back and we'll talk about some stuff. Is that better? Can you hear yourself now?
Yep, I can hear now.
Cool. And you can totally move this over if you want.
Thank you.
All right, good times. So, and let me make sure that maybe we get Chloe. She's on cam, so. Woo! It's just, I'm a little bit unnerved today. You would think that John Doe would be all right and come in, and I usually do fantastic with flying and floating into everything. But man, they just, I'm going to blame it on the Normal Network. Live.normal.org. Since they've simulcast us. That's what I'm going to do. It's your fault, Russ. It's all your fault. Anyway, getting to where we're going. Free legal help for you patients in denial of the process. Patient denial letters are rolling out, and calls are starting to come into CDPHE lawyers and medical marijuana centers. Rightfully so. So there's quite a bunch of frustration in the community. We are here to help. Patients can appeal their denials or wait 6 months to reapply. The denial process requires a request for appeal to be submitted to the CDPHE, and then they will have to appear in front of the administrative law judge. This can be intimidating for our members. We have partnered with the law firms of Hoban and Fiola, Edson Maton and Matz LLP, and Vicente Cederberg LLC to provide counsel in these hearings free of charge to the patients of members of Cannabis Business Alliance. Let's work together to make sure patients are not further harmed in this situation. If you're a member and you're interested in taking part of this program, please call 303-736-9442 or email them membership@cannabisalliance.org, 303-736-9442, or email membership@cannabisalliance.org. If you are not a member, please consider joining the efforts and visiting their websites. CannabisAlliance.org. The attorneys are best of the best, and I can tell you the best of the best in defending patient rights. I'm thrilled. This press release here thing says we are thrilled to be working with them to achieve the best outcome for our patients. I am absolutely thrilled, and in writing this on Facebook today, I wrote a personal note in this. Warren and the people of Edson, Maton, and Matz inside this office, Chris, includes Greg, Georgia, Lauren, who I barely get to see, are some of the most caring and awesome people that I know. You know, and I know there's been. I'm not even gonna go there, but dealing with Warren on a daily basis, the dude gives a fuck in more ways than one, on more ways than a personal level than a lawyer should, I don't even mean in more ways than a lawyer should. It's just more ways than you would think a lawyer would. So,
it's like Warren for president at this point. You know what I mean?
In my opinion,
really is amazing.
For a lot of us, on a personal level, just I'm not even talking about on a business level and the things that he does in the community or whatever. Just being able to deal with him on a daily basis and the things that he's done for me personally, the things that I've done for him. I'm not even trying to sell him or nothing here. This is me being just real, talking to you emotionally again. You know, he's a friend. He's done a ton for us here at the John Doe Radio Show. He's done a shiz ton for the people around me. I know, and for free, and because he cares. I know I'm not even going to go there. I just know personally, yeah. He's a good person, and I'm glad to see that this has happened. And like I said, the only reason why we haven't called and harassed these people, and just like Chloe will admit, is probably a good move, because Chloe here in the future is probably going to have a big stick to go. She's going to be able to swing a stick from wherever and smack me with it. I know she is, but we want to become friends with these Department of Revenue people and make sure that they're, friends with us, giving us information. Like if they need a press release to get out and say, hey, this is something we need to get out to the patients, I want them to email us, and I want the media person to say, hey Tim, hey Kim, hey Chloe, or whoever, we really need to get this out to the people. Can you help us? And
well,
like,
it's very
sure,
important if they're going to be regulating us for us to establish that relationship with them.
And we are media. We're local media. We're solidifying ourselves more and more as it. The stuff we talked about yesterday that I sort of hinted to a little bit before. I didn't go on too much. I didn't talk about too much because I know there's no final deals and anything. But the stuff that we're planning to do and maybe bring more and more from not only just Colorado but across maybe the whole country. I mean, I want us to be a pillar, and I think I know you want us to be a pillar in what we're trying to do. So anyway, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. I can just ramble with the best of them. And anyway, so let's do some commercials. Let me read a few things here. What do you have for us today, Chloe, when we get back?
Not a lot of new news going on, but a lot of new stable stuff and a lot of cool discussions coming up.
Here's the interesting thing, too, and we'll talk about this, too, coming up. The legislative session, man, that's about ready to start here in Colorado. That's something that, and it's too bad that Warren's not in the office today to talk about not only the situation we just did with the lawsuits and the things coming up. We'll maybe try and get him in here tomorrow, but also the legislative session coming up. You know, I've been hearing rumors left or right of just this and that, and I don't even want to repeat some of the stuff because it's just like at the beginning of every political race, you hear of like the extremes, you know, and then it gets whittled down. So we'll find out what exactly you've heard and what's maybe on your mind and stuff, right?
Yes, for sure. It's definitely a rocky road. And, you know, when it comes to politics, there's a lot of uncertainty in where we're headed. And, you know, but we've got a good stance. And we got
Colorado,
fighters
luckily,
out there.
Colorado, luckily, we have this great... it seems like, you know, even though we're going through all this crap, it seems like we've got our feet pretty planted in the concrete. You know, we're pretty like we ended up. I mean, we ended up just for
We've
long enough.
We've developed a system, a regulated system, and really, you know, if you do have that system in place, it stops the war on drugs in your town. So if you really don't want it in the hands of children, you don't want it to be a street game, you know, it's the start of something huge, I think. And
I think patients and dispensary owners and the people alike, I think they stood in that concrete that was being poured long enough for it to solidify and for us to be all right in the end. We may have to deal with a bunch of crap, but
yeah,
I'm not going to jinx anything. I didn't think Montana would ever have the situation that they had and what they're going through. So,
right.
But Colorado's a little bit different, and I don't think they could ever go there here in Colorado. So we do. You know what? Oh man.
Well, Montana has no dispensary model in their whole legislators. So
well, they got it. They removed the whole the whole repeal situation and what they have. You know who we really have to get in here on Business Thursday maybe and sit down and talk with us and maybe get inside the studio with us to sit across from us is Jared Polis.
Yes.
We really got to get Jared Polis in here and talk with him about what, you know, his plans are, you know, for a nationwide attack and because it's just that there's nobody. I mean, there's communication and there's connection, but why not make a better connection? You know, and he's friendly. It's not like I've sat in.
He's a nice guy.
Yes, he's a very nice guy, and he's been to the community parties, not partaken, but. Let's just say that. All right. Anyway, all right. Make sure you guys check out Rare Dankness Seeds, one of our favorite sponsors here on the John Doe Radio Show. I cannot thank Rare Dankness enough. Good friends. It's just, damn it, man. I'm all freaking emotional here lately with everything I've been going through in life and everything, and I really do appreciate Scott and Pam and everything that they've done for us here at the show, and especially yesterday. There's stuff that you guys don't even know about that I appreciate, and so just once again talking about good people, and we are lucky here in the show to have so far, you know, been able to work with some fantastic people. So check them out. RareDankness.com, Cannabis Cup winners. Rare Dankness, 970-812-DANK is who you can call. And if that doesn't get answered by one of the awesome people that take care of the orders, then I think that goes to Scott. So don't just call that number hoping you're going to get to talk to Scott, because that's not the case. I just started thinking, I'm like...
He's thanking you right now.
I know, I've just started thinking, I'm like, hey, call that number to talk to Scott. And there's like, that number gets out, and it'll get out on the internet, and it'll be like, hey, here's a direct number, and direct line to Scott from Rare Dankness with all that stuff. I think you just hosed your mic, though.
Hello.
It's not like mine. It goes straight into it like that.
Hello.
So you don't get as much. See, we need
You got to scream.
We need goosenecks so that we can pull it over, man. Like, because this thing's on the edge of the table, and if it goes too much, it can go into your cojones if you were to have cojones.
And I'm clumsy, so
yeah,
it's probably a good thing I don't have cojones.
it's happened.
I mean, actually, I've been known to have cojones.
Well, you do.
If you know me well, but
well, you do.
but I really don't.
That mic, though. You know what we should start calling that? That's the mic rack. That's just that's its name, the mic rack.
Me, it's coming toward me.
See, I'm telling you, it goes limp too.
It's chasing me.
All right, where are we going with everything? Make sure you check.
Goes limp.
It does.
Neat.
It does. And I'm going to stop right there because there should be no... Never mind. We'll keep it clean, completely kosher. I was going to give you a compliment there, Chloe, but it was maybe one of those compliments that was a roundabout that not was appreciated. So maybe...
Well, I appreciate the almost compliment.
I'll give it to I'll give it to you during the break.
Neat.
All right, select seeds available at awesome locations like Southwest Alternative Care, Cherry Company, Pro Company, and Teapot Lounge. Make sure you check them out. They're good people and good times here on the John Doe Radio Show. Let me make sure I got this shiz lined up, and I got a few more reads for you while we get into these commercials and get into some business here on the JDR. Thank you very much for joining us. Make sure you check us out, johndoeradio.com. If you missed anything, the podcasts are available daily. We also upload them to iTunes. You can subscribe to us on iTunes and give us an awesome review there, right? Because that's what we deserve, isn't it? No, don't review a single show is what I ask on iTunes. Is review us overall. I'm just going to quit rambling and go to the commercial. It's the JDR.
You're listening to the John Doe Radio Show.
Mad Hatter Smoke Shop has got your high-quality, American-made, unique pieces and some of the best scientific glass available anywhere. Artists and companies like Mike Fro, Cowboy, Zob, Royal, and D-Rock with some of the best products the Mile High State has to offer. Treehouse, Joel Halen, Worm, Tricky, and more. Mad Hatter Smoke Shop also carries Sheldon Black, one of the highest names in glass standards. Don't miss out on the Holy Water Style Collection either. Our friend John Waters offers his line of shirts, jackets, hats, and skateboards for men and women. Mad Hatter Smoke Shop for everything the JDR Army needs. Mention JDR or John Doe Radio and get 20% off. 20%! Visit MadHatterSmokeShop.com or email store@MadHatterSmokeShop.com for inquiries. Mad Hatter Smoke Shop, 6091 West Colfax Avenue in Denver, 303-953-7015. Store at MadHatterSmokeShop.com, 6091 West Colfax Avenue, Denver, Colorado, 303-953-7015.
Under Pink House Blooms, you're going to find some of Colorado's most respected and popular cannabis centers, including the Cherry Company on 111 Madison Street, the Pro Company at 1445 South Pearl Street, and the Teapot Lounge at 2008 Federal. You have heard the amazing products available from Nika T and his solventless wax and ashes from his appearances on the John Doe Radio Show. And now you can get to know about the amazing ISO hash made by our good friend and buddy Stephen Lewis. We haven't had him on the John Doe Radio Show, but I can tell you, Stephen Lewis, big ups, homie, out there, is making some of the best product that is available anywhere in the entire world. This ISO wax cannot be beat. I challenge you to find a better product. But not only are the products great, but just as I need with my own personal caregiver, the services are friendly and personable also. Pink House Blooms and its stores are proud to carry essential extracts products. Essential extracts. It's just, I just hear of them everywhere. Rare dankness and hemp hoodlum and Vector products. Stores are open from 10 to 7 every day. Daily specials like Tuesday, 2-for-1 joints. Warehouse Wednesday, where they weigh all Pink House grown meds at 4 gram eighths all day. Buy one edible, get the other one half off on Thursdays. And Sundays, or make it rain. Sundays, let's just say they hook it up fat. Remember, industry employees also always get a discount at patient pricing. The Cherry Company, 111 Madison Street, 303-399-6337. The Pro Company, 1445 South Pearl Street, 303-733-6337. And the Teapot Lounge at 2008 Federal, 303-656-9697. Some good people, good meds, good times.
Are you a medical marijuana patient or interested in finding out how to become one? Contact Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern. Conveniently located on Hamden and Tamarack in the Whole Foods parking lot behind Proof of the Pudding. Mile High Wellness offers a wide variety of edibles, hashes, and some of Colorado's top strains. Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern. 3525 South Tamarack, Suite 110, on the corner of Hamden and Tamarack. 720-382-8516. Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern.
Also want to tell you about Platte Valley Medical Marijuana Center in Denver, some of the most affordable prices anywhere. You don't believe us? Call them I was about to give a 720 number out there, and why the hell I was about to go there, I have no clue. Call them 303-953-0295, 303-953-0295, or just head down, visit Trust Us, 303. That was a fail. It's just so amazed at the pricing of these guys. It's just absolutely insane, the pricing and the products that these guys have. Located at 2301 7th Street, Unit B, across from the Denver Aquarium. Great people. Care about their selection of meds and a wide variety of extracts. Once again, from top shelf extracts, their specials are Wax Wednesdays. All wax, $15 a gram, and it's normally $20 a gram. Monday Madness, premium strain, specific joints for $1 a J. $1 a J. During the NFL playoffs, Platte Valley also running specials on select ounces for just $125 and $15 select eighths. No bottom shelf strains here either, so check it out. Platte Valley Medical Marijuana Center, 2301 7th Street, Unit B, 303-953-0295. And make sure you tell them the John Doe Radio Show sent you on all of these guys, because if you don't, then they don't know the John Doe Radio Show is where you came from. And then they don't know that they can stick with us. Right. All right, and also until January 15th, everyone gets patient pricing at $25 an eighth and at $150 ounces.
Trouble with the law? Or maybe you're looking to start a medical marijuana business? The law firm of Edson, Mayton, and Matz can help. Attorneys Warren Edson, Lauren Mayton, and Chris Matz offer a wide range of criminal defense-related assistance and cannabis legal services. Call the team of legal professionals ready to help you or your business out today. 303-831-8188. That's 303-831-8188. Or check out the website, warrenedson.com. That's warrenedson.com.
JohnDoeRadio.com.
Herbs on the beat.
Thanks for hanging out with us on the John Doe Radio Show. I'm your host, John Doe, hanging out with the awesome and very, very, very beautiful Chloe Villano from yourmmjinfo.com.
Hello.
It's awesome to have you.
Thank you.
Now, yourmmjinfo.com is a place where people can go here in the state of Colorado, and probably soon to... is it just here for Colorado right now? Are you just doing Colorado?
Actually, I do consulting throughout the entire nation.
See? There you go.
And I actually get a lot of calls from other areas, and I study those other areas very, very intently.
Very awesomely. Use a JDR-ism. She's like, no.
I won't say that.
That's okay. That's okay. So, what kind of services are you offering inside? Because last week I know, and the week before we didn't necessarily get into, this type of services that you necessarily offer and the benefits that can be had from someone like yourself. Because I'll tell you what, man, I hang around a lot of dispensary owners, and I get to see a lot of dispensary owners out there, and the problem is with some of them is they're just, I don't know, for lack of a better term, but in the best way possible, with all due respect, stoners that just want to do good and sell their product and didn't necessarily intend to get into the business, but wanted to get into the business. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm getting lost here with this.
I would actually beg to differ. I've had a lot of business people show up in my office saying, I really feel like, I have 3 PhDs, I'm a professor at CU, and I'm never going to retire.
But these are the people. But this is the people I'm talking about. Like the like someone like me or someone that doesn't necessarily have any educational experience, but the streets, like I was slanging grains on the streets, man, and that's where I came from. My start. I didn't have like a business degree, money to invest, didn't come from another business or whatever, and it's not like I gave a fark my entire life about the rules and legality of everything. And there's people that are out there like that, and they've had to either get their shits together or
well, I think it's a lot
find
harder
somebody
for
like-
somebody to get into it now, are harder for somebody who's already been in it. Because now you understand the rules. You get into it, you can operate like that.
But there's some people that need to find someone like yourself to help them understand how the situation works.
Well, we help with finding locations.
Just like I had to get Kim in here to like help me try. I had to get somebody in here to try and help me focus and get things together. It's the same thing with you and the services you offer. Getting people, to focus and what exactly they need,
Well, there's a lot to getting into this business and opening a business. I mean, you need to find a location. You need to have proper distancing. You need to have the proper local and state compliance, licensing. All the paperwork needs to be filled out correctly. You want to have background checks on your employees.
That
it just could be very
issue.
complicated.
That distancing issue may become a serious thing here come January, man, with the feds. Or it could become nothing.
Yeah, it's you're 1,000 feet within a school.
As the crow flies, though, so there's a lot of people. Pretty much all of downtown would be poof. All of downtown's dispensaries. We went and looked at a map.
It's true.
And in Warren Edson's office here, he has a map of back in the day when they were designing out all these things, and
Denver's map.
Yeah, it had the circles of all that. Yeah. And if you do the as the crow flies thing, as the feds would call it, it's like that's not how they did it here in Denver. It's like in other places, it was how you walk, to these places. And it
was property line to property line,
and how you walk, like
right.
You
it
walk
was
out
walking
here,
distance.
yeah, walk, and which made a big difference if you do as the crow flies. Atomic bomb in downtown Denver. Like, I'm sorry to use that.
Well, and Denver, it seemed like the safest place for a long time, and then all of a sudden they implemented a new zoning code in December of 2010.
All of Denver.
And people just had to move their grows, and they said, okay, we're going to actually rezone the city.
Yeah.
So a bunch of people had to move, and then
Aurora became
now they have to move if they're within 1,000 feet, and you can't move jurisdictions. You can't take like a Denver license and move it to Colorado Springs unless your county was banned.
Yeah.
So if it was a banned county, then you can move jurisdictions.
But then even then,
that
they
makes
just
it
barely
difficult because there's no places in Denver that really aren't zoned industrial. I mean, it's really shoving these places in the middle of nowhere, even if there isn't an occupational school or a church or daycare, which there usually is.
But even then, just barely, as you were talking about relocation, if your place was banned.
You're almost lucky if you got banned because you can hold on to that license and move it.
But see, even then,
anywhere.
It took them how long? Like, when was Derek's dispensary banned? And then they just came up with a solution to be able to switch it. And it's like those people didn't have
and
the
it's
time.
expensive.
And Derek didn't have the. He was moved on. What was he supposed to do? Sit here and wait for the state to stay? He was supposed to sit and wait for the state to come up with a plan because they were supposed to come up with a plan quick because.
Right.
They totally screwed these people, un-American way, unconstitutional, and even if it wasn't in any of this, it's just flat out unpatriotic, un-American, kick a business in the balls. What are we doing? Type.
And
crap.
that was what was unfortunate about his situation, is he had other people opening up in Windsor, who were
created problems.
And if they would have just implemented. We only want so many here, implemented some sort of set of rules,
I still think
it wouldn't have got
banned.
out of control like that.
You don't think? I still think Windsor would have banned. It's just one of them places.
I don't really know the area, but...
There's just a few places I think that what was surprising with the ban was Grand Junction, was where...
Because there's not much near it. Where are these patients going to get their medication? And now you're just going to have caregivers just growing everywhere.
Yeah, but Grand Junction as just an area as I know it, it just was surprising. Like, you would have thought Colorado Springs would have banned dispensaries before Grand Junction did.
Well, when you get into a lot of these smaller towns, it's family operated. I mean, so-and-so's grandfather was the mayor back, way back when, and there's, everybody's worried about these certain moral issues, and they have... the people who have paved the way of these communities, they're still there. People listen to them. So
thought I just
And like I said, politics is politics. I mean, what we really need to do is show them how much revenue and tax dollars it can bring to their cities.
But see, the problem is they knew that in Grand Junction.
I don't really know the politics of Grand Junction.
Well, here's the deal.
I mean,
I'm about
to
to
be honest
explain it
with
a little
you,
bit. It's like here's the deal. Here's the problem. Here's the problem with Grand Junction. And I just Googled it. It's 4 hours and no, it's not even 4 hours. That's to this town that it came up with. It's like it's on the borderline of Utah is the problem. It's what the problem we have in Grand Junction.
Right, that's true.
That's the problem. And you have just such an eclectic group of people out there.
Very strong religion.
Very.
You
have Mennonites. And that you just gave me a look of what the hell is that? Is it the Mennonites? Is it Mennonite?
I am not sure what that is, actually.
There is the Moonanites, which
there's the moon at night.
The Moonanites, which are the Aqua Teen Adult Hunger Force awesomeness. But I think the Mennonites, they're basically like Amish, but a little different. I don't know. Anyway.
Oh, okay. So.
But anyway, it's just on the border of Utah, and you have this religious plus
mindset and beliefs and
rancher.
Yeah.
And it's just an interesting spot. And then
plus small towns, people haven't been out, they haven't seen a lot. So they're scared of a lot of things out there that they don't know.
But then if you compare that to Colorado Springs, it's like you still in Colorado Springs have that religious, like a huge religious presence because the big churches there. Focus on the Family is in Colorado.
Yeah.
You would think Focus on the Family alone would have the power to ban whatever the hell they want,
right.
In Colorado Springs. But it's like it's such
I think
it brings
Colorado
in the
Springs
area
is close enough and open enough to know that it's not really harmful.
It brings in those people that know the positive, and then when you get into Grand Junction, you just have like that they're so spread out, and they're just so spread out, and it's whatever. Grab that note off the door, please. It's just so spread out, and you have that this weirdness in Grand Junction, and then as you get into Colorado Springs and Colorado, it's just more like centralized. I don't know. I hope we explained it at all there decently. But
yeah, it's just a smaller town. It's just like, if you were arrested. I know a guy who had to give up his dispensary because he was arrested with 2 joints, and he was in Ohio, and they charged him with distribution, and it was a felony, and it was on his 18th birthday. So, if it could have been one day before, or, really, he wasn't distributing. He was smoking a couple joints on his birthday. He wasn't out drinking, driving, anything like that. So, it's truly where you get busted. Now, if he would have been busted in, a bigger city, then he probably wouldn't have maybe even got charged or, might have gotten a misdemeanor for possession. So, a lot, like I said, everything in this business is dependent on your municipality, your local municipality. And only if you're approved then can you be approved by the state, which also have a very set of, regulated rules implemented that you have to follow. So you kind of have to answer to both agencies. You have to pay both agencies. And that's kind of what we do. We help people with local and state compliance, opening dispensaries, buying mergers and acquisitions, new locations, licensing, staffing, things like that, and resources and referrals. If you need, good people, you need medication for your center, we have those resources and those referrals available as well.
Right on.
We call it your one-stop MMJ shop, and we even help caregivers too. There's a lot of people out there who, originally wanted to go into the dispensary side of things and then realized that, they wanted to not have that much responsibility, but still be, in the industry.
Yeah. It's been an interesting ride, man. I think the legislative session coming up is going to be more interesting. I'd like to talk with Warren tomorrow about what some of the more rumors he's heard. Has there been anything that you've heard coming up as far as changes that are going to be made, attempted changes that are going to be made to the regulation system here in Colorado?
All the time.
Well, I'm sure you're always hearing all the time, but what are the biggest ones that you think are going to go through?
Well, they're definitely going to do something about the red card situation because that's, like you were saying earlier, if somebody is on hospice and they're dying in 30 days, you're going to make them wait 35 days to legally get their medication?
Yeah.
Plus,
the
this
35-day thing will be fit. Yeah. I think
just, you know, with the renewal cards in this whole situation.
Yeah, it's stupid because they need to think of someone. Because if you're going as a new patient, you can go right now without your red card. You signed up as a new patient, you can go inside of a dispensary and they'll accept your paperwork. But if you are signing up as a renewal, they won't allow your paperwork now, which makes, when you think about it, and not try to think about it too much, it makes no farking sense.
Well, they were saying at first to apply 60 days in advance. So, I mean, it's like, in a way, they're kind of telling you, be prepared.
I know, but the point...
Because, but it's frustrating because it's like 60 days in advance, you're basically paying $90, or we were before,
$35
this
now.
was just passed, $35, paying $90 every 8 months.
Yeah. It's just... Why?
9 months, you know?
Do they think that people with... I don't get the whole, I wish... you can go in and give your paperwork as a new patient, but the thing that dumbfounds me about it is people with AIDS, cancer, okay, just drives you up the wall because really, is what it is that it's like a fraud type thing, they want to double check a little bit more. So I don't know. We need to call them. We need explanation from them on why the 35-day rule is so different between new and, or the red card rule is so different between new and renewal.
I think they're trying to really get a grasp on their patients as well. In the fraud thing, like you're saying, because if there are bad doctors and they have to check the license, they have to do all this research, then it takes a little bit longer. But, also because... they definitely, they need to hire more people, obviously,
Yeah, stupid, frustrating crap.
So.
Hopefully that'll get figured out soon, though, because there's this lawsuit situation coming up, and it's just like they're stalling, they gave dates, and the dates have passed, haven't they? All the dates have passed, Kim, right? Yes. Yeah, they gave dates for when they said that these people were going to have answers and cards, and then it's they just don't care.
Yeah, if they don't have the answer by that date, then they don't say anything.
Yeah, they don't care.
Yeah, it feels like that, I know.
And like I said before, with the College Department of Health and Environment, I have no qualms in saying that I personally, Tim Martin, do not enjoy the way that they have treated medical marijuana patients. They have treated the medical marijuana situation. I think that they have showed it just absolute disrespect, and I have no respect for them in the way that they have treated us. And as a new industry, and I'm not even going to say as a new industry, as a new situation to where you have patients where you have just vulnerable people, you need to have a situation to where there are advocates for those people. There are advocates for the mentally ill through the state that make sure that the state and the people that the state assigns to take care of these people, there's advocates and there's enforcers. Mm-hmm. There needs to be right now, damn it, an advocate for the patients, and they're not having it. They don't have a care. They don't have okay, well, here's how we're going to solve it in the meantime. Here, come in by a case-by-case basis. We'll solve it today.
Yeah.
Like there is with other situations. And it's bullshiatsu. It's disgustingly wrong. Because I've seen the people that need it, that need the help. And you know what? The problem is at a certain point when your life is on the line, you don't give a fuck about the legality of a situation, you know? You're like, screw you and your legal means. I'm going to do whatever I need to do to stay alive. And
well,
that's
and they
where
tie the business people's hands like that too. I mean, you can't give the patient an eighth. You can't unless they're in an indigent program. Well, just because you're not
Luckily, there's still a
labeled
black market.
indigent doesn't mean that you're not in pain every day. So they kind of tie everybody's hands, and it is really frustrating.
And the business owner does need to follow the rules.
Yes.
I'm not telling the business owner to go and do anything that they shouldn't do, because you need to do I'm more so than ever now. We need people that are going to do the right thing.
Yes.
And not be rebels. But
I mean, they're also
luckily
selling
they're-
eighths for $25 an eighth at most. So, I mean, before everybody says, oh, this isn't about people are capitalizing on this industry, it's not about this. Remember, these business owners are trying so hard to provide medication, but, you know,
there's a big
it's not like they're just making huge amounts of money. I mean, 2 locations, no tax write-offs.
It's not like California here in
the
Colorado.
price has dropped. In California, it's still worth $45 an eighth.
There's still $80 in some locations you can go. It's ridiculous.
And they
the OG
see 50
Cushes,
patients a day.
It's crazy. Like, and I'm not trying to nail on California. It's not like that.
And they're
in all
not
the
weighing
places.
it in. They're not required to have a $1,000 scale, a $2,000 safe. They're not required to do all that. So yeah, it is really frustrating. I think when
And they have different. I'm not trying. And we really get people that hate when we hate on California.
no,
We're not
I'm saying California's has it made.
We're
I
just not.
think.
No, in certain ways, not though. Like that's the problem. And
There's good and bad in both, but in a way, you know, they definitely have a little bit easier of a time operating their shop in less fear. Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess they do have the federal.
they've had more, but they've had more.
They've
raids.
had more
They
raids,
more worry
yeah.
about it, and the only way that you could explain that maybe it could be a little bit more is that it's more spread apart and there's more people. You know, it's not like shooting fish in a barrel necessarily. I mean, it kind of is like shooting fish in a barrel, but there's like I'm gonna shut up. That was a bad analogy. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of dispensaries in California, you know. And if it were to happen like in California, like the crackdown that has happened in California multiple times, like that one day they did, you know.
Everybody has to just shut down.
Like that, and then the one I think it was like 11 they did in one town, and then 13 the next day. If that stuff were to happen here in Colorado, number one, there would be a huge backlash, and the DEA would lose, and two, it would, for the time being, decimate our system. And California has had the spread outness and the strength to be able to keep that together, and I commend them for that. And I don't even know where the hell I was going with in the beginning of like trying to even say something about.
I mean, you never know
California,
what they'll say. You know, they may say, well, you know, you local government agencies don't know how to manage your, you know, you state agencies that don't know how to implement laws, so we're just going to take over.
Yeah. The biggest thing here on the
You
John
never
Radio,
know.
the biggest thing here on the John Radio show that I have a problem with, that I tick myself off with, is my focus. There's so many things inside my head that I get to thinking about, like as we're talking, and like I get all fired up, and then my brain starts racing and stuff, and then I then forget what I was going on before, and I try as I'm going to write myself notes. I just need to get better at it. So anyway, I apologize if we completely like stop a topic and then move on to something else, and you were like, "What? I'm getting better and better at it." The king of it is Adam Carolla. Jiminy Christ! That's probably why.
You don't like when he does it, or what?
No, I love it. Like that's probably why the way I am, in a way I am, like the certain like just randomness. Like I grew up listening. Like one of the biggest radio shows I listen to, and one of the biggest people I like sit down and like pay attention to, and feed off of, is Adam Carolla. And I don't like sit down and like watch TV and radio and stuff just to sometimes like watch it for the entertainment. Like I watch it for like the production value, and I see how they do things, and how, you know, like the whole Good Times thing that's came from Adam Carolla. Like I was so infatuated with like Loveline and like Adam Carolla and how cool he was at the time in high school, when I'm watching, you know, when it came out on MTV and then on the radio. I was so infatuated with it that it was like, you know, I try and like, I pick up things easily, production skills, and like just listen to things that are just even stupid sometimes. It would drive people just insane just for the production value for it or whatever. And the Adam Carolla dude, motherfucker, brings things around like crazy. He'll start something 3 hours earlier, get off the topic, and then bring it around 3 hours later and plug it in, and it works perfect. But I'm not quite there yet. Kim's laughing at me. Big thanks to the Normal Network. Thank you guys for simulcasting us. Live.normal.org. You can check us out now on the same time that you can listen to the John Doe Radio Show on our live network on johndoeradio.com/live, starting at 11 Mountain Time till noon on live.normal.org. And then we go on the John Doe Radio Show on johndoeradio.com/live from 11 o'clock Mountain Time, 10 o'clock Pacific, till whenever. We're going to build it up eventually to a 2-hour show. So until then, we just slang it and wing it. Whatever the hell that means.
Sounds good. I always say, it's funny, when I was a little girl, my dad and my Uncle Joey, they're identical twins.
Really?
And they raised me, and they're both 100% Italian. And they used to tell me, it doesn't matter whether you win or lose, as long as you look good when you play. But it's...
See, I needed people like that in my family.
And you looked good. That's what they'd tell me, because I'd get real upset if I lose.
Dude, me too.
But it was just kind of cute. So
in my family, it was always like, you got to win.
Right.
It's like there's no fail.
That's what I always thought in my head. You have to win.
Win, mofro. Win.
Exactly.
I'm starting to learn that there's not always 100% the win. So anyway, all right. I think we're about ready. Yeah, I think we did dump the Normal Network. If we're still live on the Normal Network, thanks for hanging out and chilling with us. Also want to thank you to CPM that will be here with us on Monday. I'm not quite sure if Sean will be with us on Monday. I think he's still out of town doing business. I'm getting the head shake. Yes, he's still out of town, but CPM will be here on Monday. Make sure you check them out. They have 2 locations in Lakewood and Louisville. It's important, as I keep repeating, and it's not like we have like a ton of dispensaries and we're trying to just overload you with dispensaries and like trying to make it difficult for these dispensaries to, get their awesomeness in advertising. It's just these dispensaries are in different locations. They offer different products. Some of them specialize in different things. CPM specializes in certain pain management type stuff, like the Reiki practice, acupuncture, massage therapy. And, other dispensaries that we've mentioned that are our sponsors may offer the same thing. But it's just your choice. We want to offer you that choice. We go out and we look at these places, make sure, so far, everybody's been pretty much a friend of us here on the John Doe Radio Show, and that we've trusted and been wanting to have on for a long time. And we're finally glad that we could make it happen. So make sure you check these people out. Make sure you do tell them the John Doe Radio Show sent you, because without them knowing you support them supporting us, then it doesn't work. It's not. That's the whole point of everything. So even if you just call them and say, hey, we appreciate you supporting the John Doe Radio Show. Someday I'll come down and check you out. I'm not a medical marijuana patient.
Just go get your dollar joint.
Yeah, exactly.
And think of us.
Go and
do a little like on Facebook. Let them know that we're sending you. Maybe we really need to do just like a coupon that we download. We are. So that way we know.
Yeah, that's what we wanted. We talked about it yesterday, like of tracking and sitting down and meeting, of finding out how to maybe direct do it. Getting an exact coupon where people can go and grab.
Really rewarding our listeners.
Because there's why reinvent the wheel? Places like the Westward and, the stuff that they have going on. And people love deals. People love deals, and that's what we're trying to give them here.
Because everybody's realizing that we've been getting ripped off forever.
I've been a grower for a little while, so I'm not going to say that anybody's been ripped off. But yeah, maybe so.
No, I mean just in general. The price point for what we pay and the markup on things. People are just realizing more and more that
the markup came from the ridiculousness of having to fear the man. It's also not cheap to grow marijuana on, unless you're growing 100, 200 plus plants and really do it right.
That's not cheap either.
That's not.
What are you talking? That's
with a couple $1,000-watt lights.
You want to have $500, $600, $700 a month power bill.
Dude, it's hard to grow marijuana and still meet. Like
It does. It costs a lot, and you wait for it. One thing goes wrong.
And there's numbers that like Russ has come up with, Radical Russ Belleville on Normal Show Live, and other people have come with, and like they've used like where it would be outdoor numbers. And like, here's the thing: if you haven't grown marijuana and you haven't grown for a while, I'm sorry, I'm going to be respectful as possible with this, but you really have no say in how much it costs or what's put into it. And the price that goes on it, unless it's $80 an eighth, really I want to tell people just to deal with it or go find a cheaper price, you know?
No,
and
it's
it
true.
sucks if you live in a town that you don't have that ability. That really sucks, and I'm sorry for you. But
Right.
This is why we need to change the program as it is. But I'll tell you right now, as a grower, a former grower, because I don't grow anymore, I did away with it.
It's expensive, and it's a lot of
It's too
work.
risky
I mean,
right
it is
now.
a full-time job. Like,
the rules that we've talked about here,
Yeah.
it's risky. It's a full-time job.
you have to
mentioned.
have the right genetics. You have to watch them every single day. And, you know, in this state, you can have power outages very easy.
Dude.
You know, you get like a big
Dude.
snowstorm and it's going
Dude.
down. You're screwed. I mean, your lights mess up.
Looking
All of a
out
sudden,
my
you start
back
having
door.
a bunch of, you know, big penises growing out your plants. No, I'm kidding.
What are
But
you
it feels like that. It feels like it's
I didn't
over.
even know what that was. Dude, I've had mushrooms.
No,
and,
basically, you know what I mean? When your lights get all messed up and everything turns male.
Yeah.
But it feels like that.
Oh, I see where you're going with that.
But that does really happen. People don't look for penises on your plants because
I was going towards
don't get excited. No, I'm kidding.
the herms. The herms.
You better start talking about
You threw
something.
me
Now you
off
can tell
there.
I'm
You
getting
threw me off
bored, you
there.
know?
Last night I may or may not have taken a slight. Like I get migraines, all right? Serious migraines. And
Like he makes us all sit in the dark.
dude. Well, like
In the migraines,
that's when
yeah.
the cluster kicks in, and I'm like ready to just jump off the top of a building. But like they get to the point where like they just build themselves in. And Albert Hoffman, in his research and in finding out psilocybin and what it is and labeling it and all this, part of the research of his was at the time of trying to find a cure for migraines or try and find a medicine for migraines or whatever. And I myself, I've tripped before. I do not personally like to trip mushrooms to the point of whatever, because I mean, people know me. They listen to me on the show. I mean, I live inside.
Oh my God, you're nuts! I couldn't
live inside my
imagine
head.
you on mushrooms.
I would go crazy. I don't want to leave the room, man. I'm not okay on shrooms. Okay, I need to relax. Like, period. End of story. Period. But I'll tell you, on a light dose, point whatever, I may or may not have whatever, and
Neat.
it worked decently, put me in a little better mood. And then you had mentioned the penis envy, the penis strain, the penis.
Penis envy.
Can we say-
No, wait.
Can we say
That
penis-
is not
Can-
true
can we
whatsoever.
Say, can we
people.
say can we say peni one more time? No, you mentioned on the plant hermaphrodite.
Yes.
And there is and it just brought to my mind last night as I'm like thinking and going through this, the waves that you get sometimes with mushrooms and you're tripping. There's a certain strain called penis envy that is supposed to be a strain that is that solid all the way through. It's not the in and out of whatever. And I'm thinking that, and I'm still on the migraine talk here.
I wonder if anybody has that strain. We should
It's
maybe next
available.
week we'll see if
It's available. You can get it.
we should give a prize for it. Who's got the best one? I'm just kidding.
Oh my goodness, Chloe. Oh my goodness, there.
Sorry, it's bored. It's getting cold out. You know, it's
You're making me warm here. Is what you're making me just a little warm. No, but I mean, it is available. People can if people are interested in learning more about that. I mean, this is a show about medical marijuana or not medical marijuana,
and
just
strains are very specific and important to certain ailments. So
with medical marijuana. But it's
I wonder what that one's good for.
But it's different with it's a different, and people will argue me about this with mushrooms too. But I think I've done enough research on my mushrooms to know too. I may or may not have grown shrooms at one point in time, but the strains don't matter. They don't matter. Like the only strain that does matter is that penis envy strain. It is the only strain
In
that,
mushrooms.
As far as psilocybin, the the cubensis.
Right. I mean, and the difference between the psilocybin and mushrooms and just, the effects of a plant is that, I mean, mushrooms could literally grow in a little teeny container right there.
Yeah.
And, as long as
Well, there's different kinds of
you put manure,
yeah,
and that's pretty much all you need.
Yeah.
It's definitely, but
you can also, the more protein that, like manure, but you can also have a protein mix that doesn't involve any of that, and that will help build up a little bit more of that psilocybin. Anyway, the specific shroom that I'm talking about right now is the psilocybin the cubensis. It's not anything else. There's other shrooms out there that do different things and act differently on the body, whatever. I don't even want to get into it really anymore. It shows about marijuana.
I know, I'm like...
It shows about marijuana, but I just, you threw that in there, and then there was an experience, and I just wanted to... There's other applications I really feel us in America should be looking at, Ibogaine, however the hell you say it, I think is another situation that we should be looking at here in America as a drug treatment solution. The problem is it's a heavy psychedelic, and people have problems with that, but it's also been proven in people that have taken this to cure them of immediate heroin, addictions, of serious drug addictions, alcohol, other things. I mean, why are we not looking at these things as America as a free? We think ourselves as a free country, yet it's like the freest country. Yet Canada allows a lot more of these certain things. Canada, the needle exchanges. There's other countries in Europe, and I mean,
the world is definitely well, not the world, I should say, but as far as our treatment plans are very closed-minded to things like that for some reason.
It's weird, man. It's weird. We really think of ourselves.
But they probably think to themselves, well, we don't want to give somebody who's coming off heroin something that's going to make them hallucinate either. I mean, that sounds... I'm sure there is...
To the normal person, it's like giving a drug, giving like a misunderstood drug that makes you trip, giving a person that's on a bad drug a misunderstood drug that's going to make you trip that you think is bad doesn't make any sense. I get that.
Right.
But that's where we need to change our mentality.
But yet they'll give you benzol or morphine
they'll give
to get off heroin, and they'll keep you on it for 3 or 4 years. So they'll say, you know what, we're going to help you get off the heroin, but we're going to keep you on, morphine, and then
methadone pills.
And after 3 years you start going down, and you're so goddamn addicted to that. It's like
I don't think there's a single pill that I've taken in my life that has farked me up more than a methadose.
When I hurt my back at first, they wanted to give me, they weren't quite Oxycontins, they were Roxys. I took a half of one, and I threw up so hard, like literally from 8 in the morning till 2 o'clock in the afternoon, dry heaved, and I hit my face on the toilet till I literally beat myself up.
Oh my God.
I mean, that was just how hard. It made me that sick.
Dude,
and I thought to myself, I will never take one of these. I don't know how people... I'm glad that happened to me because I do have serious back pain, and I was never able to take pharmaceuticals. They tear me up.
And what's crazy even more is that I've been reading that they're coming out with new pain medications that are harder for people to abuse, but then I don't even know how to explain it or whatever, but there's new Vicodin, there's new Percocets, there's new all these serious pain medications that are coming out that are because the FDA and whatever regulatory agency has multiple times now said like Vicodin and Percocet or whatever has been banned. Like it's, I mean, I may be speaking completely stupid here, but it's been banned. Like it's been said by the FDA or whatever, whoever the hell these organizations are, like these should not be in use. Yet the process to like actually make it go through is like slower than shiz because it's the pharmaceutical company have so much power.
They have so much money.
I'm speaking about things that I don't necessarily know about right now, but I know for a fact.
Someone told you, if someone handed you $1 million right now and said, "Hey Tim, I'll give you this if you shut up," I guarantee you, you're going to take the money and shut up, We don't
know if I could keep it. They may have to give back the $1 million, but I'm just saying.
Like
That's
on
me.
Twins? You mean the 500,000?
Dude, I have a problem just shutting up at any one time. Like I'd be like, I have $1 million sitting in front of me, and I'd be like, I know I'd have the $1 million, and then I'd forget about the $1 million for a millisecond, and I'd be like, and it'd be like, oh, you lose. That'd just be me, That's me.
Not me.
I know. That's why we can. Yeah. Good times.
Yep.
Bring you in more into the mix and stuff. You got to stick around and record a commercial if you want, or we got to write you a commercial because I know you said that we do need to get you that commercial.
Nice.
So I just wanted to remind you of that.
Write it down on your little list. I want to see you start.
Kim's having some horrible pain today, I guess. She doesn't look like she's very happy today at all. Is it the tooth? Or is it just everything else? Oh, you're having a headache? Oh my God. See, I've been trying to battle off the stupid migraine for 2 weeks, the same headache.
I got a statistic for you.
It's a stupid cluster.
Statistic. So since Thanksgiving, there's been 2,000 DUIs. Given alone in the state of Colorado, 13 recorded deaths from alcohol. So don't drink and drive, people. It's not worth it.
Yeah, the drinking.
You think you got it, but you don't.
Yep, exactly. You know what? And something else, the news that we didn't get into and we totally dropped the ball on like a bunch of morons. Or me, sorry. Like a moron I am. Didn't mean to include you all into that.
Yeah, that's to speak for yourself, dude. That's for sure.
Sorry. Yesterday, we should have got to this news that we didn't. But Denver-based activists submitted over 159,000 signatures
Nice.
to the Secretary of State's office yesterday. Well over the 86,500 required to put a marijuana legalization initiative on the state's presidential ballot in November. Initiative is being spearheaded by Brian Vicente and Mason Tavert, one of my best friends of Sensible Colorado and Safer, respectively. I love Mason.
I do too.
He's one of my good friends, and I suck because literally I have not had a car for a couple years now, and if there's anybody else I would be working for, there's really no excuse.
I was just going to say, there's no excuse. How about you just give him a shout out? Since you obviously haven't gone and seen him.
But here's the thing. I've had to get my shiz together, and I'm starting to do that. I've done the show, and now the personal shiz is getting together. And if there was anybody else I would be working for or volunteering my time for, it would have been Safer. And I've wanted to, always intended to be sort of, there as Mason's right-hand dude if he ever needed. And I always intended to go and hang out with him at his office all the time. But it never happened because I had this lameness and I have getting my personal shiz together. So that's what it comes down to. I'm honest, man. I'm probably one of the most honest frackers that you're going to meet. Right? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just honest.
You're real.
I'm real. I'd like to be real. Anyway, getting on to the story at hand and enough about me. This is the John Doe radio show. No, I'm kidding. It was intended for everybody, not me. Colorado Marijuana Initiative does not allow... Actually, I missed a spot here. Last year, polling revealed 54% of Colorado voters favor responsible regulation of marijuana for adults as opposed to the current prohibition and its many consequences. Moreover, 2011 marked the first time the nation supported marijuana legalization, according to the latest Gallup poll. The most recent poll in from Public Policy Polling reveals independents in Colorado support legalization 54 to 34, and the state as a whole 49 to 40 percent, with the rest undecided. They wrote that really weird in that article. The Colorado Marijuana Initiative does not allow public consumption nor amend current employment and traffic safety laws, which I don't feel belong in there anyway. I feel that employers should be allowed to hire and fire whoever they feel, even if it's for smoking cigarettes. It's just, I think, the freedom of American business and the freedom of, if you want to have your company be a certain way, if it doesn't violate a constitutional right, you shouldn't be fired just because you're a woman, Right. You shouldn't be fired just because of, whatever. But
shouldn't be discrimination like that. Yeah. But, if you're not doing your job, or you just have that type of a personality, maybe that's not working for the job you're doing.
Basically comes down to if it's something that's like not your choice, and you can argue what your choice is or not. Like if someone's gay and they get discriminated against, there could be people out there that say it's their choice to be gay or whatever. That's not what I'm talking. I include that in there as not being your choice, but
well, I mean, mostly
discriminated against. Like,
yeah, you can't hate someone because their skin color or they're gay, or you cannot like them because they don't do their jobs or they're not nice enough on the phone. Or
but I can fire you because you smoke cigarettes. That should be perfectly fine. I should be perfectly allowed to do that, I think, because it's your choice to be smoking cigarettes. It's my choice as an employer to have maybe
to smoke too, to have all that secondhand smoke coming.
I know.
It's true.
Maybe that was. I mean, just
smoking cigarettes is a little
like drinking.
Our little.
Like if it's like maybe you're a person that you've had problems drinking in your history, you have serious issues with people that drink, just whatever. You don't want people in your company that drink alcohol. You have a completely sober company. Nobody can go home and drink and whatever. That's your choice as an employee. Maybe that's getting into personal rights.
I think that's way too personal. I don't think you could just fire somebody because you don't like them and you don't smoke.
That's your choice to work at that company, though. You don't have to work at that company. I don't think that American rights and in my beliefs as the American system and who
I don't know one boss of a company who has the time to be like, look at that guy over there at that cubicle. He smokes cigarettes. I'm getting rid of him tomorrow.
There are companies that are like,
well,
that have policies like that and do situations like that.
I have a friend that's an office manager for a actually pretty big lawn service company. And
well, maybe more corporate. But I mean, usually, that to me doesn't seem right, and I think that's a huge issue.
I know it doesn't seem right.
Your past, your felonies, like
right
whatever has happened.
But I think they
in
should
your
have
life,
the right.
You should have equal opportunity employment, and we should have that in this state. We should have equal opportunity.
I think we do.
For everybody.
I think
and just
we do.
because you smoke or drink, that's really none of their business. If you're gay, that's none of their business. If you're
But the gay thing is not the same as
religious.
They just started implementing the same thing in hospitals now.
I don't think that's the same thing though. And we're getting into like political, personal issue situations here.
I think you just should really screen people good before you hire them. Ask them about those things if you know it really messes with you,
The bottom line is I think people should be able to be fired and hired for basic reasons. Maybe not going too crazy, whatever. Mm-hmm. And here in the state of Colorado, it's like that. You can get fired or hired. You can get fired for basically anything.
For anything. It's a no-fault state.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, unless you discriminated against the person. I mean, it's like, all right, you separate ways. There's no right for you to... Which is fine. I mean, I'm fine with that. I'm perfectly fine with that. And then we were going somewhere with that, and I completely forgot.
Neat.
Make sure you check out Compassionate Pain Management in Lakewood at 1585 Quail Street, 303-232-3620. Lakewood, 1585 Quail Street, 303-232-3620. Also in Louisville, 1116-7 West Dillon Road at Dillon and McCaslin, 303-665-5596. That is in Lakewood and in Louisville, 1585 Quail Street in Lakewood and in Louisville, 1116-7 West Dillon Road at Dillon and McCaslin. Yep. And those guys are some good people that got some good products, and we'll have them here on Monday. Was that all you had for today?
Yep, that's it for today.
It's already 12:20.
Time flies.
Wow. I think we could totally get... There's a lot of rambling at the beginning. As I'm going along, and as I'm doing these shows, and as I go back and listen to them, I'm picking out things that I'm going to outline and we're going to go into and that we're going to form everything in. And I mean, maybe some things get signed on the dotted line here in the near future. That'll be the point. Maybe we switch off. I've been waiting for a minute for some things to fall into place before, because at the beginning it was like, man, I'm always telling our people that we'll change something and then when this is going to happen, this is going to happen. But I honestly mean for some big things to happen here in the future and, for our name to get out there a lot more, for us to be more and more of whatever, Mm-hmm. So is all I'm asking, is all I'm saying, I guess, with all this is just stick with us. I mean, what else are you guys gonna do, man?
Who's with me?
Yeah, what else?
Who's coming with me?
I know. What else you guys gonna do? I mean, if you do have something better, go do it, and then come back and hang out with us. Go download the podcast later at night. I mean, you get bored or you miss a day, so what? I mean, come back the next day. We really appreciate you just being here, sticking with us. I have some big plans for the show. I know Chloe has some awesome plans that she would love to implement here with the show. And if we can get all this stuff done and to you guys, it would be awesome. It would be incredible. This radio is what I've wanted to do for a long time. And it's getting to the point of, and like we've discussed here on the show a couple times, getting to the point of if this business thing didn't work out, and just like the homie Derek was telling me for years, and just like you've been telling me, just like everybody around me telling me, is this, you cannot sustain this as a hobby, homie. Like, you cannot do what you've wanted to do and as a hobby. Get your shit together and do it right. And I'm finally realizing, and I'm finally listening, okay? And it may have taken some personal situations and some personal things here lately to smack me in the face to realize that. But I realize that now, and I honestly...
And that's exactly what we want to bring the listener. We want to bring them, our whole new clothing line that's coming out, our, new advertising packages, the learning, the signing up, the chat rooms, all that. We are going to have it all available in 2012. Definitely look for us.
Boom.
And, definitely give us your feedback.
Yeah, we want to hear back from everybody as much as we can. That's a big thing, too. And we do hear back more and more popular than we get. And on the website, if you go to JohnDeRadio.com, that you can now comment and make comments. And it's like the other day, somebody commented on how people can notice when Kim's here or not. Kim's on, I feel so bad for her right now. She's just like in some ridiculous pain right now. But like they commented when she's like, when she's here or not. And you could tell when I'm tired. No, you can cuss or whatever.
I just dropped my thing. I didn't mean to.
I was just like, what the hell is going on
Was that
there?
your iPad?
But only fell 2 feet, so
You're all good. Those things are
it's insured. So we are all good. No, it's not broke.
If it were, I think, dude, I'm not even gonna say anything because my phone, I can't believe it's still intact.
Oh,
should be
I
there.
wish I was there right now. That would be
That
nice.
was my first condo.
You had that's your first condo? That's a picture
On
outside?
my own, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
17 stories up right on the beach.
Now I know why you want to be out there and so much.
No doubt.
We gotta travel.
I miss you, ocean.
We gotta travel. I never really been to the ocean except for Puerto Vallarta.
I didn't leave the ocean for like 8 years.
I haven't even been to California.
Like, this is as far off as I went. I worked, lived, shopped.
Did you know I haven't even been to California? Like, ever?
Do you want to go in the tour van?
I think we need to go in a caravan.
I think so.
Well, we talked about it. We got to dotted line everything.
Sign your life away, Jay.
God dang it.
You want to? No.
I do. The type of person that just, I'm like,
Anyway, if you're
nervous.
trying to open a dispensary, definitely let us know. If you're trying to buy,
Thank you for
mergers,
changing.
acquisitions, anything else, you can check out my website on www.yourmmjinfo.com.
Exactly. And we'll hear more and more from you. Imagine Thursdays being like completely shifted in a way too, where to like have this like, it's going to be like, I was about ready to say something.
We're going to have to start it first thing Thursday mornings. I'm going to have somebody come in here and
Like
spank you.
Fox. Well, no, I was going to say like Fox Business News is a great network, and like Judge Napolitano was on there a lot of the time, and people hate Fox, but I mean, as a product, Fox is. That's why you hate them so much, is because they are such a good product.
Right.
And that's why I would like maybe.
We'd like people to hate us because we're so good.
Hey, if it gets to that point, man,
Hate people, hate.
That's when the haters come out, man.
Appreciate.
Is when you get good. So anyway, I'd like Thursdays, have a whole like different intro on Thursdays, and it'd be like, these Business Thursdays, man. We're talking about like, these companies that have gone stock, and there's publicly traded companies already, and I mean, get people in here like Jared Polish, the head of the MMD, the head of the DOR. I mean, stuff like that. Anyway, ramble.
It's time.
Yada, yada, yada. We'll get it going and we'll get good times. So I appreciate you. Thank you to all of our sponsors and everybody that helps this show happen. Let me read this list of awesomeness. A Cut Above Medical Marijuana Center. Make sure you go to Facebook and check them out. We'll also get a Twitter page up for them. Make sure you check out Compassionate Pain Management. Check out Matt Adder's Smoke Shop. Pink House. Awesome people at Cherry Company, Pearl Company, and the Teapot Lounge. And do not miss that ISO Have you tried the ISO extract, the ISO wax that Steve makes? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It is insanity.
Wow, for you to say that.
Everybody says it. It's the best. Like there's nothing. I'm like, dude. Yesterday, homie showed me some stuff that like is butane. Like, I take back everything that honestly right now. I'll take back everything I've said about the oil.
Slow down.
About it has to be. About it has to be an oil. Like I was totally. I'm getting chills right now because.
So basically,
I'm so excited to tell you guys this, that it doesn't have to be an oil. But yesterday I saw a product that was a waxy, harder product with no butane. It wasn't an oil.
Just amazing.
Something that nobody has ever seen before. I'm telling you, because I have not seen it before, and I don't think I've ever seen this made. Unless you're sitting there making this every day, and this is your job.
Well, what did you do with it? Did you smoke it all?
We didn't even get to try it. We just saw it, and I could tell, and from
Still thinking about it, huh?
dude who told us, I'm not just sitting here like this. This is not a person that BS's. This is a person that has some of the best out there, and I'm not trying to his is the best that I've had, and I mean him and Derek.
Let's go check it out.
The product that he brought me was like, oh my God, you just proved everything wrong. But I'm still not saying all y'all are right out there with your waxes that you're right. He has purged this to the point where this is like something that came from Middle Earth, crystal. I'm freaking out right now because I'm so excited about this. Anyway, all right, check that out. Make sure, hopefully, and soon this could be available to a situation to you guys that I'll tell you about here in the future. God, it just got excited. Everybody's like, dude, you're an idiot. You just told us a bunch of stuff. You don't even know where we're going to be able to get it. In the future, I'll tell you where you can be able to get it because you can't get it right now. You never even been able to get this guy's stuff anyway that he's made this.
We should just play Can't Touch This. I just
amazingly enough, like I've been one of the only people that have been able to like. I mean, I feel like one of the most fortunate. Like I'm not even gonna. There. People try and get a hold of this stuff from this guy, and it's like, yeah, thank you, dude. You know exactly who you're talking about if you're listening. I don't know. There's a connection there, and I appreciate it a lot. Platte Valley Dispensary, Rare Dankness Seeds. Make sure you check them out. Adam Dunn and our good folks from Hemp Hoodlum. I love the shiz out of Adam and Cece. They are a couple of my favorite people. DudeGrows.com, GrowWise, HandmadeApparel.biz, LittleManHosting.com, Run on Grass. Make sure you check out Edson Maiden and Mats, WarrenEdson.com, Mile High Wellness. And we have giveaways on the John Doe Radio Show. All you got to do, email me, johndoeradiogiveaway@gmail.com, and you could win some shirts from tokentops.com and also Silver Surfer Vaporizer from silversurfervap.com. Thank you, yourmmjinfo.com. And Chloe?
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kim, for being here today and for putting up with everything. She's just, man, I just like feel bad. Phil, thank you very much. Everybody else that makes the show possible and happen, thank you very much. Until we meet again tomorrow, we got news from Steve Elliott, and hopefully I can get William Breeze in here. All right, have yourself a fantastic day. I am John Doe. See ya.
Produced by Charlie Stash Entertainment. The John Doe Radio Show programming is not limited by information on agriculture subjects and is informational and entertainment purposes only. We specifically include responsible marijuana reform. Rights. Listening to anyone but your mother is just plain stupid. We accept no responsibility for your actions or misrepresentations, and we do not fully endorse the use of illegal drugs. You are ultimately responsible for yourself. John Doe Radio.